Alright guys, here we are in the round of 8. We are on the map Biohazard, which will be the starting map for the round of 8 each game, and will be between the blue player on the left side, in the bottom left. It is Stuart98 in the Octopus Saucer. It's an Iron 1 Octopus Saucer. Interesting. And his opponent will be Overkill2142 with the green player in the upper right in the Iron 1 Medic Osprey. So, Sin.
And this Osprey is actually going to be opening up with a couple of levelers, so it looks like he's just trying to gain access to some really strong healing to match his augmented units. Meanwhile,
see.
Stuart going with the 2 Gemini, both going in on middle.
Very nice to see Stuart going with the Saucer. I personally really love the Saucer. No healing units down for 21, or sorry, for Overkill. Why I'm reading the numbers, but for Overkill. And not like he needs it right at the beginning of the game, but obviously the Osprey, just by itself, can't handle everything. A Bucky coming out.
It's interesting to see him opening up with those gaddies, which are getting destroyed very quickly without doing a whole lot of damage.
Yeah, and now a Ratchet does come out. Obviously, the Osprey can't maintain everything itself. And, does not save that gaddy. No, that's bad. That's bad.
Meanwhile, Stuart's rolling in. He's got the 3 Buckies. He's got the 2 Gemini, and then the Ratchets, which, while tankier, are actually an inferior healing unit.
Right.
For a greater cost.
But with that Death Ray, will be pretty threatening. Goes with the Blink Death Ray first, while Overkill is going with the Carry first, and now doing the Osprey circling flying mouse cursor thingy.
And as you can see, he's got Stingers being deployed, which are actually one of the less common AA units to see.
And Stuart, abducting a neutral Longhorn. I thought that was removed. I could have sworn
evidently not on custom maps.
Yeah, I thought neutrals being abducted were not allowed anymore, or, was disabled. I could have sworn they did that.
I believe it's neutrals being necroed that was removed.
Okay, I mean, either way, both should be like that, and Stuart now death-raying these levelers. Easy
However,
to harass.
Overkill's dropping in Flamers, and they're doing some pretty good damage.
They are. Stuart, with only a single Ratchet, really needs to drop down a little bit more healing, especially because he is not an Osprey. But Overkill now moving in and going to leapfrog his gaddies up.
And it looks like Stuart has lost one of those Gemini, and his single Ratchet and another Gemini are very low. He is not moving to heal them. They're distracted by that Bucky for a moment, and it's enough time to get another Gemini down.
Really does need to bring another Ratchet down is the thing for Stuart.
However, now there's Bucky's firing in, and his cluster's under assault on all sides.
And that's what I'm saying. Another Ratchet would be invaluable right now.
However, there goes
Overkill
Nardi.
doing a gaddy drop.
Now, once you have a carry mech, double gaddy drops can actually do a lot of damage if they're on the rear of... I actually did some testing with this. 2 gaddies dropped behind a Devastator will take out half of its health with their initial burst almost.
That's a lot of damage. But right now, Stuart in trouble, not using his Death Ray, to the fullest of it. Oh man, and just getting hammered by all those units over there. He will definitely get finished off.
He's about to use his Dead Ray because he just went down.
And the Stinger finishing off Stuart, and Overkill now moving up.
And he's not even worrying about mid immediately, going straight for that top outpost.
Taking full advantage of Stuart getting finished off.
Casually finishes off that cluster, and he's moving forward very effectively. He has proven in his last game and in this one that he's capable of that rapid aggression, just overwhelming other people's defenses.
And but this time in a very, very different manner. Using aggressive leapfrogging command mode plus a gaddy drop, which is hilarious to me, I think.
That's right, and he is forced to pull back from that forward. However, he's now in a very, I would say, secure position mid, simply because Stuart has nothing to contest him with.
And I did not realize this before, but Overkill with Radar Guardians, which you can't see on because there's no Fog of War on custom maps, but he definitely can see a ton of vision right now.
And that's going to be a big help for him as he counters any effort that Stuart makes to counter push along the sides.
Or harass in general. He should be able to keep his, his eye on the mini-map and to detect any, quick flybys just because of that radius. And Stuart really low on health and just gets
manage to take down a single gaddy before he gets himself killed.
doing a strange, a strange dance. Not really the typical effective left to right, especially with the Bucky's firing in. That's kind of all you really need to do.
And now Overkill is dropping gaddies behind Stuart's outpost.
I mean, where there's no units, put your yeah. And Stuart gonna try to he's fighting gaddies with his death ray.
Stuart.
It's dangerous.
This isn't gonna work out too well for him, and he does have to pull out. Overkill's able to do a little bit of healing before he flies back, and he's bringing 2 more in. Now that we're up to those double gaddy drops, he's gonna be able to bring in a lot of firepower.
Stuart losing pretty much everything he has on the field. It's 6-20. Overkill grabbing his close, and this is not looking good for Stuart.
And it looks like Overkill has no intention to play this like Tejada Voda. He is not stopping with his domination, and he's going to hopefully just keep rolling in.
It does look like that's the way he's going to play it. He's going to have to manually move all those gaddies since they are turrets, but as an Osprey, would not be that hard, does not really lose too much speed while carrying turret in his cargo, and might eventually get to 2 in his cargo at once.
Well, he can carry 2 already.
Yeah, there you go.
And I can assume that at this point he has 2 or 3 points in his carry upgrade.
And is Overkill trying to make a statement of some sort about gaddies?
And Stuart is missing with his death rate.
Yeah,
he's firing out and not hitting the enemy.
Unless you have a good amount of saucer experience, you can't shoot the same way that you do normal guns with death ray. Death ray fires at exactly what the cursor is hovering over. Even if there's other stuff in the way, death ray kind of passes through.
That's true, and that's what makes it so effective for harass if you're good with it.
Yes.
Just the fact that you can focus a single target down so quickly.
And it's honestly not that hard, you just need to be used to it. It's because it's just very different from a standard mech fire style of moving your cursor. It's that,
And it looks like Stuart's just doing a little bit too much sweeping and not enough focus fire. Otherwise, he would have had a lot more units finished off by now.
Yeah, you definitely need to move your cursor and keep it over the unit you're trying to focus on as you move. That's one of the slight difficulties in using the death ray.
And it looks like Overkill is going for the finish here, dropping those gaddies in among Stuart's tiny remaining defensive cluster.
Definitely using his advantage of income and being aggressive and just keeping it kind of chaotic. And Stuart obviously can't keep up, basically due to his inability to produce.
There is no domination damage coming in on account of those 2 neutral outposts, but the gaddies and Buckies are all firing in on the outpost. And for some reason, Overkill's creeps aren't even going to attack those neutral. Oh, they're not attacking the neutrals because they're on islands. That's right.
Yeah, right. They're not going toward it. So they're going straight for the fort because they cannot access the islands. And
so at this
Overkill
point,
slowly.
The damage is a literal death of 1,000 cuts, as each bullet coming in is dealing 8 damage to 1 damage.
This is slightly hilarious, and I just can't help but find the humor in it. But Stuart doing nothing as appropriate, and Overkill getting the finish on Stuart98, moving on to the round 4.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know what to say about that ending. That was pretty great. But yeah, Stuart was actually doing pretty well at first, I think. But then once Overkill started with that harass, and Stuart making a couple mistakes here and there, getting himself killed. Overkill using that to his advantage and just leapfrogging like crazy, and taking the game.
That's right.
All right, guys. So we will move on to the next round of 8 game. The semifinals are coming soon. But don't go away.